A's are pathetic.
The A's spent $0 in free agent. Okay, well, we're wasting good conversation here. That's crazy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is time again. We've been doing this. I think this is the third year now, Scott. We're doing a baseball podcast preseason breakdown. I don't know what to call this necessarily, but baseball's back. We were questionable, for a while there. The lockout, Rob Manfred was trying to keep us away. We're only a week delayed. We're not missing any games. Opening day's on Thursday. What do you think? What's the mood going into the season for you so far?
Well, I think a lot of us are happy, like you said. Baseball is here, and it could have not been here. A lot of us thought that it could have been another half season with all this CBA speculation and whatnot, but somehow they got the job done. About a half of the spring training. I don't know how many of these players are actually ready to play. Some are. I'm sure some aren't. We'll see what happens. There could be quite a bit of injuries to start the year. Who knows? But I'm not playing. I'm just watching. So I'm here to have a good time and watch baseball for for a few months up to October. So I'm pumped up.
So lots of
minor league baseball just started too. So we're already getting off to a good start here. We got opening night tomorrow. So
is it opening?
I think it was Wednesday, right?
No, I don't know. I know the Yankees play.
There's 2 games on Wednesday.
Okay, so opening night on Wednesday. There you go. Probably I would assume the Bravos are playing for some sort of stuff like that. A couple rule changes, a little bit. We're no longer a communist league. We have a DH in the NL permanently, forever. It's all we love to see that. Shut up, all you old school baseball people, about strategy. How about 9 people that are capable of swinging a baseball bat? When you have Max Scherzer making $43 million more than 4 other teams, he should have to get a guy out that can maybe hit a baseball, not some guy who gets paid to throw.
I feel like sometimes in the NL, it was like even the eighth hitter was even a guy who was a liability, and poor guy could probably never get any RBIs because at least the 1-hole hitter never got any RBIs because the guy 9-hole hitter was never on base. He was either bunting somebody over or striking out. So I think we're all happy that we're going to see 9 capable players for the most part swinging the bat. So and as well as the Shohei Ohtani rule that just came out too. So if you have a pitcher that can also hit, he can stay as a DH. So if he comes out of the game, he can stay as a DH instead of pulling him and having some other schlep hitting the baseball. We all want to see Shohei Ohtani out there for 9 innings, regardless if he's pitching or not. So I think that's a good rule. It's going to be fun watching him play a lot more. So I'm all for the universal DH. It's been a long time coming for sure.
Way too long. I mean, you don't need NL games where it's like, oh, it's the 5th inning. Do I have to think about pulling my starter because there's 2 outs and a guy on second in a 1-run playoff game? Dumb. Just worry about, a hitter batter, keep it going. Stupid shit like that. But more rules for next year, possibly. Let's get right into it. We got predictions. We got lots of storylines heading into the season. Like you said, Shohei Ohtani coming off his MVP. Can the Angels actually be competent this year? God knows. God hoping, them and Mike Trout. But we're going to start out with the NL. I'm going to head out west for us. West Coast, best coast, question mark. It was pretty funny. We added, because we do our gambling show, we added the odd. We looked at some odds on some of these teams. Man, the Dodgers lineup in LA is gross. I don't know if their bullpen's going to be able to help. They did just trade for Craig Kimbrell, so from the White Sox, so that should help, but who the hell knows if he can save a game anymore, because he couldn't save a game when he went to Chicago. But that lineup 1 through 9, good God almighty. There's no pitcher anymore. That's an American League 1990s, early 2000s roid lineup that you're not getting anybody out. Or at least you're getting no at-bats off. It's got mix, it's got speed, it's got power. It's very creative. Is anybody beating the Dodgers in this division, Scott?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you said at minus 225 for them to win the division. I think it's as long as they stay healthy. I mean, that's always a question mark with any team is if they're going to stay healthy. But even if they don't stay healthy, they even have a few big leaguers in the minor leagues. That are kind of sticking around just in case they get a call up. I know Kevin Pillar is playing on Oklahoma City this year, and he's a 10-year vet. They have all kinds of depth, even going down to AAA. Their bullpen, like last year, stacked. Kimbrel, Trinan, Gratterall. They have Clevenger, Jimmy Nelson, guys who they shorten the game. They make it when you get to the playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing. If you get to the playoffs and make it a 6-inning game, it's the easiest way to win. And with that lineup, lost an MVP, and then they gained an MVP. They still have 4 MVPs on their team. I mean, obviously, Pujols isn't quite what he used to be, but they gained someone, obviously Freddie Freeman. If Cody Bellinger can go back to his sort of even 2/3 of what he was for his MVP year, this team I could see this team winning 115 games. It's just not.
That's a lot of games.
They're playing. Obviously, they're going to play the Padres quite a bit. They're going to play the Rockies, who just got.
They're Rockies.
Obviously, got KB. They got Chris Bryant. They got a decent team. Giants are even up there. They're always sticking around there. They don't always have the names, but they're always kind of up there with the Rockies. It's more about can they pitch. It's always been about if they can pitch. They usually can't, especially in that ballpark. But yeah, I don't see Diamondbacks.
They're bad.
Dodgers will probably get this done pretty easily. Fernando Tatis out for a few weeks because he's an idiot and wanted to get into a motorcycle accident. But
you think they'd have that in the contract?
Did something to his wrist or whatever.
Like,
yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that.
He's everyone loves his play style, his game. Maybe this comes with that. He's got the flair on the field. He might have a little too much flair off the field. You know what I'm saying? The injuries are now a thing with Tatis, which is a real shame. And the Padres, yeah, I mean, they shit the bed last year. I can't imagine. I mean, the Giants did win this division last year. That shows you how much nobody respects the Giants at all. The Giants have a great pitching staff, which is how you're gonna beat. But I don't think it's
they lost their best pitcher.
That's true.
He's now in the AL. So
and they don't have much of a line. You lost your captain too. You lost Buster Posey, who's kind of your spiritual leader. But again, not built for June through August. Pitching staff is not gonna win you games to get you into that spot. You need to be able to hit the baseball. It'll win you a World Series. It ain't gonna win you too much when you're facing that kind of lineup in LA. I'm on the Dodgers. You're on the Dodgers. I think this is probably the easiest division to pick out of any of the divisions. I didn't struggle too hard with this one. If the Dodgers don't win this division, congratulations to whoever bet on that, because go ahead, trust the Padres. I just can't trust San Diego.
I mean, even the Giants, they're kind of like the Rays of the NL. They never have the names, but somehow they're a scrappy, cohesive team, and
they at least win
95 to 100 games somehow. So
the Giants at least have won in the postseason. They were a dynasty at one point there. So all right, let's move over to the Central. This division's a little interesting. I think there's a team getting a little slept on here. The Brewers are the favorite to win this division. I actually really like what the Cardinals got going. I think they're getting a little slept on. They got a lot of young talent out there. A lot of sparky guys that I really, really like. You got O'Neill, you got Harris, you got a lot of. I like what the Cardinals are doing. They're not the old Cardinals that were like the boring Tony La Russa Cardinals. They feel like they got a little pop in their step. They got a little pep in their step. I like a lot out of St. Louis.
Yeah, they are. They are that young team with O'Neill and Bader and Edmund, but they're also that old team now. They still have Pujols back, they have Wainwright, and they have Yachty. So they have the 3 guys from the World Series in 06 back on the team. So it's a good mix of both, to be honest. Even their starting lineup, and they have Jordan Hicks come back. He's probably one of the nastiest closer setup, whatever he's going to be this year.
He's a good late inning guy.
His 2-seam fastball is the most disgusting thing maybe you've ever seen. It's like 102 that breaks about 1.5 feet just off in the right-hander's batter's box. It's absurd. I can throw a baseball, but they also have they have Michaelis and Hudson and Jack Flaherty's on the aisle to start the year, but they have a decent starting rotation as well to go with kind of that scrappy kind of outfield, middle infield um, that they've had for a pretty good while. They've always had pretty good cohesiveness and play together, and it's kind of a big deal to play 162 games together. It's um, same guys for 6 months every single day. You got to have chemistry, and I think they have that. Um, but I like the Cardinals. I actually do. I was going to pick the Cardinals to win this division.
Good thing we don't talk beforehand.
Yeah, but the Brewers definitely are in the mix as well. They are actually the favorite. The Cardinals are sitting at plus 230. Brewers are minus 175. Also have a good starting rotation. Corbin Burns, Woodruff. They have Bader. Josh Hader, not Bader. Josh Hader as their closer. But they got Yelich. He's old MVP with the his first year in Milwaukee, and I don't know, Lorenzo Cain, Hunter Renfroe, Andrew McCutchen, guys like that. I mean, a lot of old guys, a lot of guys that might hit a few home runs, but no, I have some feeling about the Cardinals. They have a good mix of young, old, experienced, and I think they can probably pull out the NL Central.
Pujols DHing is a big deal. Getting that DH in the NL is a big deal now. Like Pujols can just turn into like a Miggy. He's gonna get some more ABs. It's always gonna help. The more ABs you get, the better you're gonna be able to hit. Usually, if you're a professional hitter like that, so that can help. Get you in a big spot, get you a knock here at the bottom of the order, stuff like that. So yeah, the Cardinals. Yeah, I feel like people are a little underselling this Cardinals team. Just how good they are. They kind of fell off late last year. But do you expect, young teams go a little streaky? You get a little streaky when you're a little young. Like you said, they got the veteran guys. Wainwright, just the revitalization of Wainwright last year was big. I think he's going to bring it again. So, yeah, Cardinals in the Central is very tasty.
Poor Chicago Cubs fans. They lost every single one of their superstars over the last couple of years. No Schwarber, no Baez, no KB, and no Rizzo. All gone. Gone forever. Really tough to be a Cubs fan nowadays.
But they got their World Series, so they can all die happy.
They got their one World Series, so all the old people can go ahead and
you'll be all right.
Like
You'll be all right.
Reds, they lost a few guys. Two guys that actually went to the Mariners. Two bangers with Winker and Suarez, but Reds.
Yeah, they lost.
I don't think they're gonna.
They
they're
lost
gonna do it.
Castellanos too to Philly. It was
no Castellanos either, and then the Pirates. Who do they even have anymore? They just have
soon.
What's his name?
One day the Pirates will.
Maybe one day, but not today. Today is not the day.
The poor Pirates. The Pirates seem like they always have all these young prospects. They get to the major leagues, and then they trade like they're the trade bait to acquire the next generation. They're like everybody's farm team. It feels like the Pirates. Maybe they should just stick with those guys, which is crazy. They draw really well, I think, when they're good. Their stadium's the best in baseball. Everyone wants to go to PNC. So it's just weird. Pittsburgh's such a sports town. Like, I don't get it. It's weird. Maybe one day. You hope the Pirates will be that team one day. All right. NL East. Obviously, your defending world champion, Atlanta Braves. Little bit of a different team, but kind of an upgrade, maybe not an upgrade. At first base with the big Matt Olson trade, lost Freddy Freeman, obviously the anchor of that team. Acuna's back, looking bat flipping better than ever. And the Metropolitans, can the Mets can they put it together? The Mets at least will, they're spending money and all the owners hate it. Those grumpy, bastards hate it that the Mets are actually dumping cash. Like I said, they signed Scherzer. Who else did they sign? They signed like 6 people. The Mets are actually trying to win. But can we trust the Mets at all to win this division? I don't think I can trust the Mets.
I don't have the Mets either. They did sign Mark Canha, he's a decent power bat in the outfield. They're going to get Robbie Cano.
Cano's
full season.
He's still alive.
Still alive, sitting out there. Eduardo Escobar is also kind of a big bat who played for the I Diamondbacks for a few years. Hit I think 35 homers or something like that for the Diamondbacks. So they have a decent squad. Jeff McNeil, excuse me,
Jeff,
at second base.
Pete.
A 310, 320 hitter. Dom Smith. They have a lot of good names, and like you said, they have DeGrom, Scherzer.
Well, DeGrom
Um,
is hurt again, of course,
yeah,
because
I mean he's starting to pitch more innings now, so yeah, he's getting a little overworked. Cookie Carrasco. I mean, maybe he just came off having cancer, so that's
hey, it
always
worked. It was good for
always
Mancini. Hey,
different.
Mancini was pretty good last year coming off of cancer, so maybe you beat that. You could beat it. You can be able to hit a baseball, do anything like that. Pete being
Yeah, so
slept on a little bit.
Pete
Alonso.
Alonso, he probably hit 35, 40 homers. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
they're a
was.
good squad. I remember last year I picked the Nationals. That went really well for me. Um,
They had a fire sale.
but like you said, the Braves giving up Freddie Freeman, kind of getting back I would say a B plus version of Freddie Freeman, maybe A minus version of Freddie Freeman. And Matt Olson, he'll still hit some bombs. He'll hit for decent average, but
It helps
getting
though.
Acuna back, it
AL to
does help.
NL.
I mean,
AL to NL. Big jump. I've seen a lot of AL guys raking the NL on top of it. There's usually a big jump there when you go to that softer league over there.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely a very proven guy. He's not going to have some slump or anything that's going in the NL. He'll still have his production, and he'll do a good job. They got Kenley Jansen. They have a closer now to bolster that bullpen that they already have. And they have Will Smith. They have, let's see what we got here, Tyler Matzik, AJ Minter, Old Aggie, Darren O'Day.
Oh no.
They love they love their sidewinders, I guess, with Will Smith and
O'Day.
and O'Day. But really good bullpen. Like I said, really big thing when it comes to the playoffs is having a bullpen that can shorten the game. But yeah, like you said, Acuna coming back. That's automatic production that they didn't have for a World Series team. So that's a scary squad right there. They are looking at, let's see what they're at. They're at plus 120. Mets plus 200. For me, I'm looking at the Phillies. I'm taking the Phillies to win this division here.
Little sleeper.
So I mean, they have Castellanos this year. They have a very, very good starting rotation with Wheeler, Nola, Zach Wheeler, most strikeouts last year. He can pitch like crazy here. They got Corey Knebel coming in as their closer. Brad Hand, Familia. They have three closers. Their team that were closers at one point. That's always really, really big. And like I said, Castellanos, Hoskins, Segura, the MVP, Bryce Harper. They got Johan Camargo from the Braves now, and Kyle Schwarber. I mean, they have a bunch of bats, great bullpen, pretty good starting rotation. I think it is definitely a sleeper pick. I feel like the Braves probably have the upper hand, but I have a little feeling about the Phillies. This might be a good year for them. Marlins not looking good this year.
They fired Derek Jeter quit because the Marlins don't want to win baseball games. It was pretty much that simple. I think that's all everyone needs to know about that.
The only player I know on the Marlins is like Jazz Chisholm.
Chisholm.
That's the only guy. Anthony Bass, he's a good dude, but Jazz Chisholm and George Soler. They got George Soler on the team.
I heard they were talking to Starlin Castro again, possibly bringing him back into the fold.
Real. Jesus Aguilar. I mean, that's a tough squad there. When with Nationals don't have much anymore as well. They
got Juan Soto,
Strasburg, Corbin, and John Soto. It's really about it for them. I don't think I'm going to pick them this year. I'm going to go and stay away from the.
But you're still You're still dabbling in a little bit of a sleeper pick in the NL East.
A little bit. It's probably going to backfire. But,
it's a wild division.
I like the especially for the value. At least plus 350. I'll take them to win.
Joe Girardi's going to break out the book. You're underselling how Joe Girardi can make a bullpen shit their pants every time they walk out there because he makes them feel terrible because he's looking at the book and they get nervous. I don't hate it. I think the Phillies might be able to surprise little people. I'm going to go with the Braves. I think Acuna comes back with a vengeance this year. And that's really helped. The only thing that worries me is, do you get lazy after you win a World Series? It's hard to repeat in sports, guys. You skip that extra workout. You have one more extra glass of wine, when you're out with your lady of the night or man of the night, whatever you float your boat. But I do like the Braves for the long haul. Like you said, very good depth. I can't trust the Mets. The Mets will do something stupid to screw this up. They'll be in first place with 2 weeks to go and somehow lose 10 games. They'll find a way to make this interesting. I like your Phillies pick. I do like that Phillies pick a lot. Teaser. But I do have the Braves winning the NL East there. So let's hop into wild card teams right there. I got the Phillies. I do have the Phillies as a wild card team. I like that pick. This was kind of tough. I felt like there were 4 teams out here in the NL. Like you said, the Phillies. I got the Phillies. I got the Brewers. And I got the Padres. So the Mets were the odd man out there. And it was between the Mets and the Phillies for me. I trust the Brewers, like you said. Their pitching staff is so good. I can't see them not making the playoffs. That'll get you through a good chunk of the season, especially since the division's not very good. Like you said, Cubs fire sale. Pittsburgh. The Reds fire sale also. And then the Padres, I think they're going to have a little bit better injury luck this year. They were pretty beat up last year.
Besides their MVP, breaking his wrist, accident, which is
I think it'll be. But he missed how much did he miss? Like 2 months last year.
he'll miss like 3 or 4 weeks this year.
Yeah, I think that's a better fit. What about who are your last 3 getting in?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you because I don't trust the Mets either. Them getting the World Series, I don't know how long ago, 6 or 7 years ago, that was kind of an anomaly. I don't think that's going to happen again. They can spend all the money they want, but somehow, like you said, they're going to screw something up. They're in probably, I'd say,
I think they're the third
favorite.
favorite.
I think they're
the third favorite to win the World Series. I think they're the third favorite in Vegas. They're like really high.
They are. Let's see what we got here. Number 6.
Okay, what are they in the
Dodgers? Dodgers, Blue Jays, Astros. Actually 7. Dodgers, Blue Jays, Astros, Braves, Yankees, White Sox, Mets. Mets are sitting about roughly around plus 1,000, plus 1,500 is
third in the NL though. That's really good. That's really good. Third in the NL.
That's really high. They're actually on my sheet. I'm seeing second. So. Interesting. They got the Dodgers plus 250 and the Mets plus 475. I just can't trust them. I just can't do it.
Can't trust the goddamn
Mets. I can't pick the Mets for anything. Like you said, Padres, great squad. They actually picked up John Manaea, who's
that was a sleeper good pickup.
Always due for a no-hitter every year. And then we'll see old Ranger, old Express player Nick Martinez. The starting rotation for the Padres. They spent a lot of money on him right before lockout hit. I think it was like 4 years, $32 million just on a guy who's been pitching really well in Japan. He didn't do great with the Rangers. So we'll see what he can do. But yeah, I mean, Chris Paddock as well. They have a great squad. It's just tough luck there in a great division with the best team probably maybe ever assembled at this point. So yeah, Padres. I like the Brewers, and then I like the Braves as well. I can't.
We have the exact same 6 teams, which is funny. You thought that extra team would add a little bit more intrigue, but yeah, the Mets are it seems like the Mets are that bubble team, every year. Yeah. How do you think? Do you like the new playoff format? Do you like the extra team? I personally do.
I kind of like the 10-team thing. I like the play-in game. I don't know. It might add a little bit of parity, but I don't think it will.
I like 3-game sets. I was sick of these 1-game do or die games. It's not too much. Give me a 3-game set.
I didn't mind having like the play-in series maybe for 3 games. Playing games kind of you're playing such a long season, and then your season's up to 1 game, and you pretty much have to throw everybody out there to see if they can win. I don't like the 1 game. I could do 3 games. Extra team, sure. I just don't think the cream's going to rise to the top, regardless of how many teams are going to be in the playoffs. So
I think
it just adds more baseball, and who can say
playoff baseball is great. Everybody loves playoff baseball. Nobody dislikes playoff baseball. Maybe the casual fan does like that 1 game because it's tense. You can cut that with a knife. All right, let's head on over to the AL. Let's stick on the East Coast. I don't have any bias in this division here
Oh, I'm
whatsoever.
sure you have nothing.
I have no
You have absolutely
bias,
none.
no bias in this division whatsoever. Pretty good division, probably the best division in baseball, top to bottom. You have the worst team maybe in the Orioles, but even the Orioles, as little money as they spend, they still got Cedric Mullins. He's pretty good. They're decent. The Orioles aren't horrible. The Orioles win some baseball games. I think they hit their over last year. They were projected to be the worst team in Major League history. They well hit their over in Vegas. So, but they're not a good team. They're a bottom 3-4 team in the league. But the rest of the 4 teams all made the playoffs except for the Blue Jays missed on the last day of the season, and they're the favorite to win the division this year. So you got the Yankees, Rays, Red Sox. So it's a stacked division. These teams go to war with each other all year. I think it's the Blue Jays' year to win this division. The young talent, they invested, they blew that. They had a stacked team in, 2013, 2014. They blew that bitch up. They were pretty bad for a good stretch there. They acquired the prospects. The prospects are here. They're really good. Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr. I mean, they did lose the Cy Young winner, which is, you don't want to lose your best pitcher there. And they did lose Simeon, which was a really underrated signing that helped them a lot. I just think Vlad's going to carry you. They're back in Toronto, which is nice. They still have an advantage. They're going to have a huge advantage because Canada is crazy, run by crazy people. The non-vaccinated players can't play there. So Aaron Judge ain't going to Toronto. They said they think 3, 4, and 5 for the Yankees lineup can't play in Toronto. That's a massive advantage. And a couple of guys on Boston also. So that's a huge advantage for the Blue Jays when you're playing in Toronto, and you're going to have some people missing because of the vaccine situation. So I think the Blue Jays win this division. They're plus 165. It's all set up for them to win this thing. I don't think the Yankees got really any better in an offseason that they could have spent some money. I don't think the Trevor Story ad for Boston does too much. Chris Sale's hurt once again. Who would have guessed? Broken ribs, out multiple weeks. You can't throw that good and weigh 110 pounds like Chris Sale. So he's out. Are you going to be able to get Eovaldi to pitch as good as he pitched last year? He was a Cy Young candidate last year. I don't think he's going to pitch that good this year. And the Rays, who the hell knows with the Rays? They throw guys that can't hit a baseball out there, and they win 98 games. They got Wander Franco. That's a competent baseball player. Everybody else, who the hell knows? G-Man Choi hits for 250 all season, then he hits like 6 home runs against the Yankees. It's just crazy. They got guys like that. So I think the Blue Jays win this division. Hurts me to say I'm not picking the Yankees to win this division.
I assumed you were going to be all over the Yankees, and I'm pleasantly surprised because I think you made the right decision. I'm also with the Blue Jays. Like you said, they dumped Simeon. He's now a Ranger, but they picked up Matt Chapman. Yeah, that's not that big of a drop off. Defensively, it's better. Offensively, probably not so much. So hopefully, have a healthy George Springer. Like
He's
I
never
said, the guys that
George is never.
yeah, well, hopefully he'll probably play 120 games. But they have a great starting lineup: Barrios, Cucci, Gossman, who's did really well last year for the Giants. He's kind of going to be trying to replace Robbie Ray, and then Ryu, who's also really really good. So very good squad in Toronto. I think we're literally on the exact same page with all 5 of these teams. I think the Yankees will probably be second. They did a little bit this offseason, probably not as much as they probably should have. They probably should have gone after a better first baseman. They dumped Luke Voigt. He's now a Padre now?
Yes, he is a Padre. That was a
Padre?
good trade. They got did you actually, little side note here, the Luke Voigt thing. Did you hear what really got him traded this offseason? Which I heard.
Didn't
So
know.
apparently, because there's always been buzzing like they're going to ship him. They signed Rizzo. You needed the lefty bat. I'm okay with Rizzo. I would have preferred Freddie, but Freddie didn't want to play. Luke Voigt was being a dickhead to the young kids, and Rizzo wasn't about it. And because Rizzo got to camp late, obviously, because he wasn't signed, showed up, and after 2 or 3 days, he confronted Voigt, and then they got into it. Because Luke Voigt knows he took his job, so I think that also played into it. But Rizzo wasn't about the abuse to the young cats out there, and they shipped him out that day apparently. So
Interesting. Yeah, you don't want a guy like that in the clubhouse for sure. But yeah, they should have gone after Matt Olson. They should have got after maybe a Freddie Freeman. They didn't get really anybody besides a bunch of Texas Rangers. Um,
They got
Shortstop, they
they
got
got Josh
Isaiah Kiner
Donaldson.
Falefa.
It's 2013. He's an MVP. Okay, the Blue Jays are good. We got Donaldson. It's all okay.
Yeah, it's not the offseason the Yankees wanted. They got Donaldson, they got Isaiah, they have Trevino. They're a good squad, but they're facing a very, very young, energetic team in Toronto. Um, Red Sox are kind of like I would say they're sort of like the AL Cardinals in a way. Energetic, cohesive. Never really know what you're going to get, but they have a bunch of young guys on team with Kike and Verdugo, guys like
Just
that.
really hateable people. Really hateable.
Devers is sick as hell. Great pitcher. Paxton Sale both on the IL right now, so those are two guys that could be coming back eventually. Yeah, Trevor Story, Bogarts, Verdugo, Kike, Jackie Bradley. They're a good squad. Probably get third place. Rays, you never know what they're going to get from them. They have, like you said, they have Wander Franco, but they just dumped Austin Meadows, who's now a Tiger.
Tigers.
Tigers.
Yes.
Yeah, they lost a big bat in Austin Meadows, but somehow they'll win 80 games, 80 plus games, and
Every game's 3-2.
Spoiler to some team in that division, and then the Orioles. Also, the Rangers 2.0. They have nobody. They have Mullins. They have Mancini, Means. Luck winning 50 games this year in that division. So, yeah, I'm taking the Blue Jays. I think they are sitting at, what did you say that they were at?
I have them at
plus
165.
Yeah, plus 180 here. Yankees plus 230. Rays are actually plus 240. Right?
The Rays.
Red Sox plus 600.
Rays won the division last year, so people riding the hot hand.
Interesting. For any of you big gamblers out there that are looking for quick money, Baltimore is plus 15,000. So,
ooh, I like it.
Take a quick $100 on that, and you'll be a rich man. So, but probably not going to happen. The Jays will probably win that division.
A lot harder for real baseball. All right, let's move to the Central. The Twins, somehow the Twins added a lot. They signed Carlos Correa. They tricked the Yankees into dumping that Donaldson contract to sign Correa, so you could thank Brian Cashman for that. They also picked up Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez. Sanchez hits home runs. He don't hit the baseball. If he puts the ball in play, he's been hitting about 140 the last 2 seasons, so that's not good. But, sparky, plucky little Twins. I'm all White Sox here. They're the best team. They're really, really sound. It does hurt that Lance Lynn went down, imploded his knee. Could have been a disaster, really, just a slight meniscus tear. But really, really good all-around squad. They got pitching. They got hitting. They do play in cold weather, which I don't love for early in the season, but it's amazing. It's weird. Like, those cold weather teams, they just always seem to come out slow early, but it's a good squad. They have some playoff experience now. That's been the big knock. They were kind of the young and young upstarters the last 2 seasons in the COVID shortened year last year. So they now have some experience. I think they've learned a lot from that. Tim Anderson is your heart and soul of that team. Really energetic player. So I like the White Sox here. The division's not great. The Indians pretty much fire sold, and the Indians. The Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians. They were kind of a surprise last year, finishing in second, honestly. I think that was my one really good hit. I thought I was really down on the Twins, and they were a disaster last year. And the Royals are going to be good in like 3 years. Like, in 3 years, the Royals are going to be really good because they have a lot of good prospects. They're going to be a good team. They're just not quite there yet. So I'm all on the White Sox to win this thing.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of a toss-up between the White Sox and the Twins. White Sox are probably, they are the favorite, but I think I'm more leaning towards the White Sox. You've kind of covered most of it. This is probably the weakest division in baseball. Got, Guardians and Royals, kind of the bottom tier teams in the AL besides the Orioles. Very big sleeper team here, though. Detroit Tigers.
Ooh.
They could win 80 games. Maybe get second, maybe slip into a wild card spot. If they can pitch a little bit, they have Eduardo Rodriguez, they have Casey Mize, who's your first overall pick a few years ago. I think it was first overall, right? I know he's at least top 5.
Let me look that up.
Um, went to I forgot where he went. Auburn, I think.
That
Let's see.
sounds.
He was the first overall
Overall
pick.
pick.
He was the first overall pick in 18.
And he went to Auburn.
Wow, pretty good, huh?
That was pretty good.
So yeah, they have a decent first two. If they can have 3 more decent starters, lineup is a little. I mean, it's a little sleepy. I mean, you have Scope, who was a really good player at the Orioles. Jeimer Candelario, Javi Baez, who just got picked up from the Cubs. Austin Meadows, who just got picked up from the Rays. Akil Baddoo, who is I love that name, Baddoo. Kind of a breakout guy last year. I'm not sure how he finished off. I know
he came back down to
he
earth.
was
He had,
hot. He was
that
yeah.
first
He
month
was hot
he was
to begin
unstoppable.
with. Yeah,
Unstoppable. But no, he's a
he
good.
was super hot.
He's a little speed demon. I'll give you that at least.
Yeah, and they have Robert Grossman, decent player. Miguel Cabrera. Um, they could potentially do some damage in that division. Probably not, but if they win 80 games, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think the White Sox, they have too many bashers on that team. They have a bunch of Latin guys on a team that could just crank balls. I've never seen so many Latins who can hit homers.
Abreu, an MVP guy. They forget. Did he won the MVP 2 years ago?
Robert. Yeah, I mean they have. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Abreu, Moncada. I mean, there's 4 of them right there. On top of TA7 at shortstop. So they got AJ Pollock this year too. They got him from the Dodgers. They just traded for him. Yeah, they're a scary Latin team. Probably win 100 games that division. Very scary. I like Twins did a lot this year, this offseason as well, but I think the White Sox are kind of the prize in that division for sure.
That's good. I hope the Twins do get in though, because the Yankees will beat them, because that's how the playoffs go for the Twins. Let's head out west. This is my sleeper team this year. Franchise. It's you got the bottom. You got the Rangers, not going to do anything. They seem to have a plan at least. I mean, they did spend some cash. They spent some cash money. Added Seager, added Semien. I just don't think they're there yet. Maybe, I mean, it's always, can the Rangers find some pitchers that stay healthy or do anything? They'll look good for a 30-day stretch, a month there. They'll be like, hey, the Rangers. And then somebody will get hurt. We thought that building the indoor stadium in Arlington would help. No longer guys dying in August. It did not help. The Rangers were pretty beat up last year again. So it's just something in the water up there. The Astros are the team to beat in this division usually. The A's they're not even a Major League Baseball team at this point. They sold everybody. They didn't spend a single dollar. They spent $0 this offseason on people. They're a poverty franchise with a poverty stadium. They're getting kicked out of Oakland here any second now. It's a real shame for a team that used to be fantastic. The A's in the 70s were god tier. So it's really interesting. You have the Angels, you have the Astros, and you have my plucky upstart Seattle Mariners. Pretty decent. They made a late push last year. I thought for sure this team would fade. They fell just short of making the playoffs last year. I think the time is now. They got younger. Seager retired. They had a lot of good prospects. They have a few good prospects getting the start this year. I know my inside man in Seattle raves about them. This is a franchise that has had more ruptured testicles than playoff appearances in franchise history. They're the only team to never make the World Series. But they won the most games in Major League history in one season. So it's a really tough time being a Mariners fan. I think this is their year. I really like the value here. They're plus 450. Pretty big of a sleeper. I just think the Astros, they lost Correa. Jose Altuve's on the down. It's just wearing and tearing on this team. They almost made it to the World Series last year. I know everyone was... Oh, they did make it to the World Series last year. They lost the World Series last year. That's right. Everyone was rooting against them. So I just feel like it's a lot of wear and tear on these guys. You see it. It's never gonna go away until everyone's out of town. Then maybe it goes away. Maybe they need to change uniforms again, just for people to change people's memories and minds. The Angels, they have 2 MVP candidates. They're never gonna win anything. It's unbelievable. They're wasting the career of Japanese Babe Ruth. A little overrated, I think. Ohtani on some of that. He's a great hitter. I think his pitching's a little overrated. And Mike Trout, who was the best thing since sliced bread to play baseball. And nobody knows him. Nobody sees him because the Angels are dog shit. So I'm going with the plucky upstart kids with the Mariners. It's a little bit of a gamble with them, but I think it's their time. They believe in Seattle. They got a good fan base. They're ready to actually make the playoffs this year, and I think they're going to win the division because they care.
Yeah, it's definitely a stretch in a division that has, like you said, Shohei and Mike Trout on a bad team. I don't think they'll be that bad. I think they got some pieces. They have Joe Adell, who's going to be he's going to be a pretty good player in the next few years. Noah Syndergaard's on the team now, so they have a decent starting pitcher. I don't think they'll be absolute trash. I'm not going to pick them to win the division.
They're trash for their talent. They're not going to win. They should win 95, 80. They should win 95 to 100 games.
They definitely should. I think they have a potential to slip into a wild card this year with 3 teams. But, man, it's kind of sad seeing Mike Trout, kind of just wither away on a team in Los Angeles, that should be spending money, that should be making their team better. He signs this big contract that he's stuck there for the rest of his career unless they they trade him away and some team wants to swallow that contract. So
the Yankees.
Very sad to see. Yeah, they're probably gonna be the Yankees. You talked about the Rangers. They are kind of a sleepy team as well. Maybe. Did pick up Simeon. Did pick up Seager. Did pick up Cole Calhoun if he's going to make any difference. But really what I'm looking at is if they can pitch, this is the same, literally the exact same stories last year. If they can pitch, if their starting rotation can be solid this year, maybe they're a solid team. They have John Gray now. Really after that, the next 4 are going to be, it's going to be picking out of a hat. I don't really know who.
You got a spot start for them? You got a spot start for them, maybe?
They might need me to go an inning. I don't know. We'll see about that. But they don't really have much in the starting pitching wise. Bullpen, pretty good bullpen. Kind of low key bullpen. Actually, I'm looking at the depth chart for the Rangers, and they have 9 guys listed as their starting pitching. It's going to be a lot of piggybacks and a lot of guys going about 3 or 4 innings.
Couple of dual starts.
A lot of young guys. That's going to be piggyback. John Gray, Martin Perez, Dane Dunning might be pretty starters, and then the rest of them will be piggybacks. Like Hearn will go 2 innings, and then someone else will come in. But their bullpen is actually pretty solid. Kind of got a little mix of young and old with Barlow at closer, great dude. Spencer Patton. They're getting Jose Leclerc back this year, who's very electric. He can sling. He has got a nice little cut slider that I've caught before, which is basically broke my hand. It wasn't fun. Actually, it was a cut changeup. I apologize. Cut changeup. It was disgusting.
Still broke your hand.
Still broke my hand.
It's coming in hot.
Yeah, Nick Snyder, who's in AAA right now, but really looking at the minor leagues, they're scary. They have a scary minor league system. Pretty good AAA team. They have some up-and-coming superstars on the AA team, so watch out for the guys that are coming up for the Rangers. This year probably isn't their year. Yeah, I think the Astros are going to win this division. They did lose Correa, obviously, but they're putting in a guy with Jeremy Pena, who he had a pretty good minor league season last year. I think he hit like around 315 homers. Definitely have to fill some big shoes, but they're getting JV back. They lost Greinke as well to the Royals. But I don't think they're going to lose much of a step. They have a decent starting pitching. I don't think Jose Altuve is slowing down too much. I think he hit 31 homers and hit 280 last year. That's not slowing down too much. Still got Bregman, Brantley, Al Tucker, who's an MVP candidate, Chas McCormick. Yuli Gurriel, and Maldonado. They have a great core of players that they've had for the past few years. I don't think I see them um, really really slowing down too much unless they have some big injuries. Which Bregman is prone to injury. JV's coming off Tommy John. Um, you could definitely have some old guys too. Brantley's probably in his mid-30s now, maybe upper 30s. So they have some old guys if they can stay away from injuries. Who knows? But I think they'll probably be the class of the AL West. I think they're sitting at like minus 165. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the Angels are a good squad. They can. I hate to say it because they never make the playoffs, but those two guys they have to slip in sometime. But
Sometime, maybe never.
at some point,
I don't think the Astros are going to slide too much. I do have the Astros as a wild card team, so I don't think it's a big slide off there. I think it's one of those things also that kind of plays into it. Like you said, you just went to the World Series. You just lost the World Series. Usually a little bit of a lull coming out of the gates for the World Series loser. And plus, they're so old, so veteran team. I expect, some days you just take off. You're not as engaged every day. You kind of go through the motions sometimes. You get your wins when you get your wins. And you step up for big series. So that can hurt your win total down the stretch, especially against a hungry team. So I have Astros in, and I got two AL East teams. I got the Rays and I got the Yankees getting in. Like you said, somehow the Rays find a way to win baseball games. I can't explain it. I'm gonna pick the Rays until the Rays prove me wrong. I wish the Yankees did more, but I think the Yankees are good enough to get in. I expect an MVP type level year from Judge. He played really good last year, pretty much kept that team afloat. Stanton engaged in the outfield. Stanton plays the outfield. Stanton's engaged. We saw how he closed the season last year, so that's big. Rizzo's okay. Gallo needs to figure it out. You got him it was a big piece. Figure it out, bro. That's it. Pitching staff, you got to stay healthy. You got Cole, and then we'll figure it out from there. Maybe Severino comes back. If you can get Severino back, you got two front ends. The bullpen, still got Chapman. They'll get stuff figured out. I think it's an interesting team. I think they're good enough to get in. So, yeah, I like the Yankees. I like the Astros. I like the Rays to round out my AL wildcard teams.
we'll go a little different here. I do like the Yankees. They'll most likely get second or first in the AL East. I don't really see any of the three teams coming out of that division. Maybe the Red Sox, but that's mostly just because they're a scrappy team that can somehow win a bunch of games. But I think the Yankees will come out. I like the Twins. The pickup of Correa is probably bigger than most think. He's a leader. He's a 30 homer guy. He's great. He's Gold Glove defender. Unbelievable player. They have Sonny Gray now as well. Chris Archer, decent starting pitching there with Gary Sanchez, like you said, who can hit some homers. If he can hit a little bit for average, that would help his case a little bit too. They have Byron Buxton coming back. Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, Alex Kriloff, who's going to be a good player. I think he's in his second year this year. He was a rookie last year, so I think they can probably slide on that second spot. Then I think I'm gonna take the Tigers in that third spot.
You're high on the NL Central.
Really looking at they'll play each other. I mean, they're all gonna win. They're all gonna win around 80 plus games. I think they could potentially all just kind of slip in there. The West, looking at the West, I don't think the Rangers could potentially maybe win up to 80 games. Their starting pitching isn't good enough. They pick up somebody with the starting pitching, that might help a little bit. But Mariners are a good squad, like you said. Angels, I just don't trust them. I haven't trusted them for years. I really hope they make the playoffs. I really hope they prove us wrong. But I don't think they will. And like you said, the A's are basically a AAA team right now. So Royals, Guardians. Royals are going to be pretty good. They're going to be a fun team to watch, if anything, with Salvi and Bobby Witt Jr. And Bobby Witt Jr. is a absolute stud. His swing is Mike Trout-esque. Got speed, great defender, and this kid's now just turned 21 years old, so he could be the next big superstar in the AL, maybe in the big leagues. I'm sure he has kind of that swag like Fernando Tatis does. So um, interesting team to watch, but they won't win too many games. And then Orioles, Orioles Rays probably won't win. So I kind of see three teams come out of the Central, and then the Yankees as well. So we'll see what happens. But I just kind of like the Tigers. The Tigers lineup just kind of I saw it. I'm like, huh, they could do a little damage. We'll see, but
They're speaking to you. I like it.
probably be wrong. Wrong about everything. So see what happens.
All right, let's get some awards before we hop into our pennant winners. Cy Young. Let's start with the pitchers. I'll go first here. I really like Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler lost one of the closest Cy Young races last year to Corbin Burns. I think that helps a lot. I think he gets it done this year. The Phillies are going to get into the playoffs. I think we both had them in. So that also helps your case. Get your squad in. It's really heavy at the top. Corbin Burns has already won one, so that goes against him. You got Woodruff on the team for them, so I think that takes away. Scherzer is the favorite here to win this because it's the Mets. And now if the Mets are good, Scherzer's going to win it. And Scherzer's good, Scherzer's going to win it. Walker Buehler's another very interesting cat. He's a great pitcher. It just, it's one of those things where I think the Dodgers kind of like all of the Dodgers kind of take away from everybody individually, and they're more of a unit there. So I really like Zach Wheeler to avenge his loss last year. Pitched great last year. Had as much argument as anybody doing that Cy Young. So I think he gets that back this year. And then in the AL, I like Giolito. I don't think he's going to get it. Lance Lynn going down is big. It's going to give him the spot. He's going to be the man for the time being to fill in for that White Sox team. I'm going to go Cole. I went Cole last year, came in second. It's big money pitcher. He is pitching phenomenal. Once the whole spider tack nonsense got figured out and taken away, he really, really was elite last year down the stretch, carried that Yankees team into the playoffs. So I think Cole wants the Cy Young, and it's one of those things where you want it, you go get it. So yeah, plus 425 for Cole, plus 1,000 for Zach Wheeler. So good money there if you want to bet Zach Wheeler on that. But I like Cole as the favorite in the AL.
I actually really like Zach Wheeler as well, sitting there. Really, the top five guys are probably the guys you're really looking at here. Max Scherzer being plus 600, Corbin Burns 800, Wheeler 900, Wheeler 1,000, DeGrom 1,000. DeGrom's obviously starting the year off on the IL, but there's some middle tier guys that are kind of speaking to me a little bit. Jack Flaherty, I know he's starting the year off on the IL as well, but he could definitely pitch really well for the Cardinals this year. Sean Manaea, who's also, like I said, he's due for a no hitter just about every single year, and he's sitting at plus 2,200. One guy that's really speaking out to me, I'm probably gonna be wrong on this. He didn't pitch much last year. Max Fried,
Okay.
for the Braves, he's plus 2,200. I think that's a pretty good value there, as well as Aaron Nola at plus 2,000 with the Phillies. He's got a lot more run support this year, I'm sure, with a much better offense. Really big high strikeout guy. But like you said, he's got Zach Wheeler on the team as well. I was actually going to lean towards Zach Wheeler on this. Very high strikeout guy. Was a strikeout leader last year. Very close to winning last year, like you said. Max Scherzer, he's kind of on. I mean, of course, he signed his $40 million deal, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the best numbers out of him. He's 37, 38 years old, so I don't see him winning. Corbin Burns, I think he's probably a I wouldn't say one and done, but one Cy Young and maybe done. I don't think he'll repeat the year he had last year. I think he was almost a sub-2 ERA guy, which is very hard to repeat. And then Walker Buehler, he's always kind of he's a steady guy, but he won't put up the numbers to win a Cy Young. He has that offense on his side. He might be a little lackadaisical because he has that, those bashers behind him who can just put up runs and get him wins. So, really like Zach Wheeler plus 1,000, like you said. But I'm looking at Max Fried in that division. maybe coming out doing really well on a team that they haven't lost much except for Freddie Freeman, and they gained back a really good piece to kind of replace him. So um, I like Wheeler, but for value, I'll take Max Fried at plus 2,200.
All right, in your AL, you got
Oh, then the AL. I guess I'm
double
tripping over
dip.
here. So yeah, really I say the top four are probably the guys that everyone's going to pick. Garrett Cole, he's kind of the pick everyone has every single year, plus 475. Shane Bieber, I think he got hurt last year. He didn't do so well.
And he plays on a terrible team.
Plays on a very bad team. Robbie Ray, playing in he's playing in a weaker division this year, which might help his case.
It's just
Besides
hard.
the Astros, so he'll get them. He'll get them probably 4 or 5 times this year. Um, I mean, that could help his case a little bit. And then Lucas Giolito, like you said, has the potential to get it done. I don't think he will. He's on a great team though. I'm gonna go down the line here. Lance McCullers plus 14. Dylan Cease plus 14. McClanahan at 1,600. We're kind of getting down to guys who
You're begging at this point.
you're kind of begging, but there's one guy that's sticking out. I've talked to him, talked about him a little bit on this podcast. Kevin Gossman for the Blue Jays. Great season for the Giants last year. He's on even a better team this year, I think. Bunch of young guys. Like you said, Blue Jays probably aren't going to be facing some of those bashers that are on the Yankees and Red Sox this year. So he could have an easy time, at least early in the year. He's shown that he can pitch in big games. Nothing really phases him. He's sitting at plus 1,800, so I think that's a really, really good value. I also like Jose Barrios at plus 2,000. Shohei Ohtani's at plus 2,200. Then really getting down underneath there, it's not really much. Syndergaard's at plus 4,500. Kluber, who's on, I don't even know who he's on anymore. Is he on the?
He's on the Rays.
He's on the Rays. That's right.
Yeah,
He's
Tampa.
plus 6,000. Yep, plus 6,000. Really mid-tier guys. Not really much, except I like Kevin Gossman at plus 1,800. Giolito good. I like Robbie Ray maybe to repeat. For value, I'm going to take Kevin Gossman at plus 1,800 to win the Cy Young.
All right. All right. MVPs. I'll go American League first here. You got your top dogs. You got Trout and Ohtani are your two favorites to win the MVP. Hilarious. Mike Trout, the injuries, like you said, could be starting to get to him. He could just be breaking down in front of us. Ohtani's, I think the Ohtani mania is over a little bit. Everyone saw it last year. He got his MVP. That slows it down. Then you get into Vladdy Jr. You got Judge, Wander Franco, Rafael Devers. The next one's up really, really high. The American League's got some bats. Byron Buxton is an interesting one, like you said, with those Twinkies. If he can stay healthy, he's pretty good at plus 2,500. I don't really, Trevor Story, Kyle Tucker, Seager, Jose Ramirez. There's your passion. I'm gonna go Vladdy Jr. I think he had a slump at the end of the season. He would have he would have had a real shot at the MVP if he didn't slump towards the end of the year. They're gonna be a great team. He's got the name recognition that you want. He mashes. It's kind of all lined up for him to win the MVP this year. At plus 500, so not really too sexy. For me, the MVPs are very rarely super sexy on a sleeper. NL, Juan Soto is your favorite, which is crazy. He's going to be on a horrible baseball team, but he's really good. Acuna's up there. Bryce Harper. I was really liking Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman at plus 900 and plus 1,200 respectively. I just think everybody takes away on that Dodgers team. Like I said, they're a unit, not an individual player team. But I've taken Mookie Betts last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets that one. Freddie Freeman, maybe a little one. I really, really like Nolan Arenado at plus 2,500 here. That's a really good sleeper. I think that Cardinals team's...
So I had last year.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals team is going to surprise some people. So he's really sexy. Tyler O'Neill is also really good at plus 3,000. I think the Cardinals are going to be very, very good in the regular season. but I'm gonna go with Acuna at plus 700. I think this is an MVP he wins. Coming off the knee, he's got a nice little story to him. The defending champs. I think he has a huge year. I think he's probably gonna hit about 40 home runs. I think he's gonna have a massive season. 40 home runs, throwing some stolen bases, hit for average, play Gold Glove defense. I think this is this is the year for some young guys to bring home a couple of MVPs.
I mean, I feel like that's not a bad pick. I think there are some sleepers in there somewhere. AL MVP Shohei Ohtani. He's gonna be pitching and hitting, so I mean, he's probably gonna end up. It's 30 homers and has a sub 3 with 10 wins. He's probably gonna be the MVP.
It's boring. I've seen
Somebody
it.
might,
It's boring. I've
yeah.
seen
I
it.
mean, teams might figure it out eventually. He's gonna be hitting a lot more, so he could hit more homers this year, or he could hit higher average. He'll have more at bats, so. Probably Otani will probably end up winning just because everyone's so enamored by pitching and hitting. Obviously, it's a very good skill. It's a crazy skill to have, be able to do two world class things in the same sport. So yeah, I mean it's not obvious. What is very obvious to pick Shohei Ohtani, but I wouldn't be against picking him. Mike Trout. Who knows if he can last the whole year? Vlad Guerrero Jr. Just missed out last year. Probably deserved it more than Shohei Ohtani did, at least on the hitting side. Like I said, Judge, Franco, Devers, Buxton. I'm actually going to pick Luis Robert
Really?
for the Chicago White Sox. He didn't play most of the year last year, and he started off on an absolute tear. I think he played 60 games roughly. Hit 13 homers and 40 RBIs in 60 games. So he was off to a crazy start and then got hurt. I think it was also like 340 or something like that. He was going wild. If he can last an entire year, he's a 40 plus, 130 plus RBI guy. 310, 320. He could probably do some big time damage to that division as well. There's really no pitching whatsoever in that division. And he's going to play him 70, 80 times and just rake if he can last the entire season. So really big sleeper there. Plus 2,000, Luis Robert. Otani will probably end up winning just because he pitches and hits, and he just has to do a little bit of both, and he'll probably end up getting it. NL MVP, yeah, Juan Soto playing on a terrible team. Acuna coming back. I know he's out for vengeance. Bryce Harper honestly didn't have the greatest year of all time to win the MVP. He did. I mean, I think he had like 80, 90 RBIs. Might have been a 2020 guy. He didn't have a crazy year, so
It was
I don't see that
efficient.
happening again.
It was a very efficient.
It was a very efficient year. I will say that. But Mookie Betts, 5-tool guy, Freddie Freeman, I can see him definitely winning that with that lineup. A lot of players protecting him in that lineup. They're gonna have to pitch to him because they can't pitch to everybody else.
Fair.
And just expect they can't skip Freeman to pitch against who's this. I don't even know the 6-hole hitter is going to be Bellinger or Muncy or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't skip Freeman to go after those guys. So he'll get a lot of at bats. Trey Turner's big steal guy, big stolen base guy, but interesting pick. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Freddie Freeman to win at plus 1,200. Mostly because of that protection he's gonna have in that lineup. He'll probably go crazy again like he did last year, but I wouldn't say a sleeper, but kind of one to watch here. Excuse me, what I'm looking at here. Yeah, Chris Bryant
Okay.
plus 4,500 in that stadium.
Ball's gonna fly. Ball's gonna fly.
Kind of. I mean, he's obviously going to face the Dodgers quite a few times. Decent pitching in San Diego as well. But after that, the other two teams don't really have much. So that's 40 plus games that he's going to face probably pretty poor pitching in that division. I could see him going a little crazy. He could be like he could put up some Nolan Arenado type numbers, and Colorado probably won't win the MVP, but just kind of keep an eye out for the stat line this year. It could be interesting, but I think Freddie Freeman, with all that protection in that lineup, will probably get the job done. Acuna's a great pick too. He's probably out for he's probably out for a 2020, 30-30 kind of year. So, I mean, you could really pick anybody. It's AL's a little more condensed, NL is a little more wide open. So, um, we'll see what happens. It'll be fun to watch.
All right, let's get to our pennant winners. I'm going to keep this short and brief. The Dodgers are going to win the NL. They're plus 230. They, like you said, might be the best team ever assembled. They have all the playoff experience. They added more playoff experience. They just added a World Series winner. You're going to be really hard to beat the Dodgers. They've been in every situation. Nothing's going to phase them. And, they don't make the World Series. They made 2 World Series, lost 2, didn't make it, came back, won the World Series the next year. Didn't make the World Series last year. Think they're going to come back and get themselves back in the World Series again this year. So I like the Dodgers in the NL, keeping it real short. You got the same, or you going off the tracks here?
Yeah, I'm trying to convince myself to pick somebody else, but it's just not it for me. Dodgers are plus 250 on my sheet. Mets are second, and we don't trust them.
We don't trust the Mets at all.
The Braves could potentially repeat in the NL with Acuna and Matt Olson. Brewers, I just don't see it happening. Padres, I don't see it happening. And really getting down to the mid-tier teams. Cardinals, maybe. I think I picked the Cardinals last year. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I think, let's be real. They got 4 MVPs on their team. They have great pitching, great bullpen. They have a great AAA team if somebody gets hurt. It's the Dodgers. I was really trying to convince myself to pick somebody else, another team, but I didn't do it. I literally just can't.
Don't overthink it sometimes.
Exactly. Team's too good. So definitely Dodgers plus 250 to win the pennant and the NL.
Okay. Who's your American League team? I'll let you go 2 in a row. Who's your American League winner?
Yeah, so I'm looking at here. Blue Jays are the favorite, plus 450. Astros plus 475. White Sox plus 550. Yankees plus 550. Then they get down kind of the Rays plus 650. Red Sox plus 1100. Angels, don't see it happening. My Tigers plus 2000. Probably not gonna make it to the World Series. Really, I think it's those top 4 teams: Blue Jays, Astros, White Sox, or Yankees. Kind of like the White Sox to win. Those Latin guys are special. They have a great starting rotation. They have a few injuries in their bullpen, but they'll eventually get them back. Just have too many bashers on that team with Jimenez, Robert. It's just it's a lot to deal with. Obviously, the Blue Jays are a pretty solid squad with all the names they have, but I don't know. Luis Robert, Jimenez, T.A., Moncada, a lot of big names there. I think they can probably get it done there plus 550, but I think the Blue Jays can do it as well. So I'm going the White Sox, but Blue Jays are definitely up there with them. They could probably, they'll probably be in the ALCS with each other.
Okay, Blue Jays, built for the regular season. They don't have the experience yet. That's going to come get you. October baseball is just different. Big game situations. You never really see a team first time in, catch fire, run the table. It's usually a team that's in the playoffs a few years. You got to take a couple cracks at it, and then you break through. So I think that takes out the Blue Jays. God, this is tough. Just looking through my teams. Come on, I think we all know where I'm going with this pick. I'm going with the Chicago White Sox. That's a bunch of Latin bashers right there. They got a very good pitching staff. If they can get Lim back, it's going to help a lot. He's going to miss early in the season. I think they're the team that has the experience. The White Sox are ready to rumble this year. Don't sleep on the Astros again. Obviously, don't sleep on, anybody that Rays, Yankees. If it's a team with playoff experience, don't sleep on them. I just think the White Sox are ready for the moment. They haven't been ready yet, but I think they're ready for it. I honestly think the Blue Jays are going to fizzle out very early to surprise some teams. The Mariners, no chance. They're ready. Even if the Angels get in, don't think they're ready. Um, it just depends who's playing hot. I want the Yankees to win. I think they can. I don't think it's as clear cut, which might be good. People are sleeping on the Yankees, which might be the right time to do it. I just think this is the White Sox year to get it done. So we have the same. It wasn't that hard for me. I just feel like the White Sox are going to be that squad out of the AL there. So Dodgers White Sox World Series. Interesting matchup. Not really kind of anything going there. Maybe the White Sox will break out the sliding shorts again to spice things up in October. I'm taking the Dodgers to win the World Series again. It's the easy pick. It's the favorite pick. It's a sleepy pick. It's boring. It's not fun. It's not spicy. But baseball's not always fun and spicy. They're just too good. They're way too good. They're way too experienced. 4 MVPs, like you said. Pitching staff's very good. The bullpen's very good. I'm assuming they're going to figure out somebody to get the last 3 outs because they don't have Kenley anymore. But somebody will get the last 3 outs for them. It's hitting and pitching in October. Pitching usually edges out, but when it's 1 through 9 with the Dodgers, when Freddie Freeman's your 5 hitter, and it's like I'm facing a guy who might win the MVP this year as your 5 hitter, shit. And then who the hell knows what they pull out there? Justin Turner in the playoffs is just he goes he go crazy. Who knows what this team does? Mookie Betts is always a primetime player. I can't pick against the Dodgers. I can't do it. If somebody beats the Dodgers, I will be floored. Unless they get hurt. Unless that team really gets hurt, I will be floored if the Dodgers don't win this thing in 5.
Just to be different than you, I think I'm gonna take the White Sox. I've been with you this entire podcast, so I'm kind of tired of it. They have Giolito, Lynn, Kopech, Keuchel as their 4 guys in the starting rotation. They actually have 3 guys in their bullpen who actually can also shorten a game. They got Joe Kelly, they have Liam Hendricks, and they have Crochet who will come back eventually. I think he's on the aisle as well. Yeah, the Latin guys will probably not get it done. I'm going against you just because I'm tired of picking the Dodgers.
This is why we get along, though. We know
it's
we're on
absurd.
the same wavelength here.
The team is just absolutely absurd. They have some kind of money tree. They don't even know what money is in Los Angeles. They just throw it at everybody. Even goes to the NFL. They have
money machine go
Rams who just throw money at everybody, and it'll probably end up resulting in a World Series championship. But maybe it's the White Sox year if they all stay healthy. Maybe pick up a few people at the trading deadline. Who knows? I don't know. They might win in 7. They might get swept. They might not even make it. But I'll take the White Sox to be different than you. I'm just tired of picking the Dodgers. It's not really fun anymore to watch a team that just has just crazy names on a team, just pitching, bullpen, outfield, infield, even catching. They have Will Smith coming up. I'm not going to say anything about that, but and then AAA is also a solid squad too. So
Dave Roberts is the only reason this team loses, doesn't win this thing in the postseason.
Correct. We're going to blame him if they end up losing.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll take the White Sox in 7. With no other reason to be against you.
Just to spite me, I like that. It's not the worst pick. It's not the worst pick in the world. Who knows how hot I will be with this? You should have picked some things I'm hot, some things I'm off. I mean, shit, we should have done more basketball. I was goddamn money on the basketball. I crushed March Madness. Can't do that all the time. Yeah, it should be fun. Maybe we'll have another checkup. I'm sure we're doing, bookies and stuff. No, I'd like to do some live show. Maybe do some live shows. Watch some Sunday Night Baseball together for the people. Hang out, have fun. But it should be a good season. What's he got?
Also, next week I will be in Vegas. I will be betting on some baseball, betting on some playoff basketball. I will record some of my picks if anybody wants to follow whatever and send them out to the After the Review stream, whatever story. If you want to follow with me, go for it. I'll make some picks. It'll be fun.
You should put some money
So
on your Luis Roberts. You should put some gas.
exactly.
Should put some money at those odds right there for that. All right, I like that. So should be a fun season. Opening day. I'll probably put this up Thursday. I'll probably put this up on opening day. Everyone in the baseball move. So let us know what you guys think. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, enjoy it, and we'll see y'all next time.